Hey guys, Woods Farm here, Project 222. Just back out in the shop working on the Scout car. Today we're going to finally start working on that toolbox on the driver's side, so stick around and check it out. Okay guys, like I mentioned in the last update video, I'm just getting over a bit of a back injury, so I'm going to take it a little slow today and do some patterning on that toolbox. There's a very large toolbox that goes behind the driver's door and kind of in that space behind the door and between the rear fender. It's pretty iconic to the vehicle. Now, depending on the version and the series of Scout car, they tend to change a little bit, but that main central toolbox is pretty much the same throughout. We're going to start with that. There's a smaller kind of triangular wedge box that goes behind it and fills up that space just in front of the rear fender. Not sure if we're going to do that, but we got to start with the first larger box. So we're going to pattern that out, so let's get started. Okay, here's the space where that toolbox goes. There's a large square toolbox right in here. Now, our vehicle isn't perfectly to scale, so I'm going to have to make some adjustments. Best I can tell from scaling out the diagram that I have is that it's roughly 25 to 26 inches wide, but that I'm going to adjust ever so slightly to make it fit this space and make the proportions seem correct. I might play around with exactly where it sits back from the door just to try to get things to fit properly and look correct. I recently had someone ask me about where I'm getting the dimensions, and this is just from the Panzertrax book. Basically, I used some kind of known dimensions. I think the width of the rims and some other information that I was able to get, and I was able to scale this. This is a photocopy enlargement, but I was able to scale it. And now I've got a formula that converts millimeters into inches to scale. And this is how I kind of cross-reference and figure out all the dimensions on the vehicle. Again, like I said, obviously ours isn't a perfect replica for various reasons, like the width of the frame and other issues. But I try to always cross-check everything, get everything as close as I can. Sometimes I have to make adjustments for proportioning and scale, but this is what we're going off of. So based on that, I could be completely off, but my calculations are somewhere in the range of 25 to 26 wide. Here's some of the other measurements that I've got roughly. I think I can get the width pretty much bang on, but the height, that may change a little bit, and exactly how big these different compartments, that may also have to get slightly adjusted for proportioning reasons. But starting off, I'm looking at about 5.5 inches back from the door. I believe I may shift that back to around 6 inches, and we're going to play around with the width of the actual box as well. So overall, it's actually a lot closer than I thought. I am going to add 1/2 inch. I'm going to move it back a little bit from the door opening. The door has that large kind of storage compartment, and I just want to make sure the door will open to a full 90. So if I'm going to add any space, I think here's the smartest place to do it. But overall, looking at this dimension and the width based on the diagrams, you're looking at, best I can figure, somewhere in between 25 and 26. So I'm going to stretch it out to 26. The height, Overall, compared to what I have on the diagram, it is very close. The overall height is around 24 inches. And the front face, because there's that angled part's a little bit lower, around 21 and a bit. That is all very, very close. I'm going to go with 19 inches. Looking top down on the diagrams, it looks like it's very much flush with the outer edge of the fender. Maybe set back just a little bit. So I'm going to err on the side of caution, and I'm going to go with 19. It's a nice even number. So now that I have the dimensions figured out, I'm just going to pattern up some stuff, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, now that I got the side of the storage box patterned out in cardboard and I know the shape, I can go ahead and start the rest of the fabrication. Unfortunately, I don't have a sheet metal brake, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to build an internal framework out of angle iron, and then we'll clad that in sheet metal afterwards. Okay, now I have the internal framework for the storage box completed in the angle iron. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and finish patterning out all the rest of the pieces that need to be done in sheet metal. I need to know exactly how much 16 gauge sheet metal to order to complete the toolbox. Okay guys, as you can see, I've got the patterning done for the storage box on the side. Pretty happy with the way it turned out. All I have to do now is order some materials so I can finish it. Surprisingly, it's going to take a lot of sheet metal. I did some calculations that you see in there, and it's at least, I need a piece at least 4 feet wide by 6.5 feet long, which is actually more than I expected. I'm pretty sure I'll probably just do it in 18 gauge, especially with the framework, giving it a lot of structure. I think a thinner material will probably be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and order some 18 gauge, and we'll be finishing this off in an upcoming video. Okay, in the next video, I think we're going to move on to something different. I've got to order material for that to finish the storage box. So while we wait for that, I'm going to keep working and keep the project moving ahead. So I think the next thing we're going to work on in the upcoming video will be the steering quickener. We're going to do the fabricating to install that component, and hopefully that helps a lot with our steering issues that we've had. So that'll be coming up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And as always, thanks for watching.